with another Tell My Story edition. Okay, so you guys, I'm definitely going to be talking about this new amazing story. And I want to remind you guys that as we're covering these stories, this is not about us gossiping or not about us like just creating these stories. We're here to tell these stories because it gives the victims platforms as well as shines the light that we're all here to love and spread joy and kindness to one another. So let's get into this Tell My Story edition, which I'm so excited to talk about. And yeah. So, if many of you don't know me, I'm Align with Ariana. And yes, I am a psychic medium, but while we're covering these stories out of respect to the families, out of respect to the victims, out of respect for my own personal spiritual gift, I decide not to utilize my spiritual gift as into tapping into the story or tapping into the spiritual aspect of the deceased, because this could be very daunting and very tragic in a majority of the situations when people pass. And let me tell you guys this, because maybe a lot of you might not know this. When people pass away and it's tragic, and you're doing psychic readings on these individuals, you're tapping into their Akashic records. You're also tapping into the quantum field, and this can have major consequences on your life, on your own personal plan. And yes, it sheds the light to what exactly might happen. But the thing is, you don't want to encounter a spirit that you're not familiar with, because sometimes those spirits like to linger. Sometimes they like to hang around, okay? Some of them are not so friendly, so they like to hang around and just kind of like, they're like, some of them, not all of them. Some of them are succubus energies. Like, they just want to suck you dry. They want to just take your energy. So for protection of myself and my well-being, I will not be using my psychic gift for this story. But I want to talk about this story because September 24th, 2021, there's a story about Miya Marcano. I bet you've heard about this story, and if you haven't, here we go. Here's the rundown. So with this story with Miya Marcano, September 24th, Miya Marcano went missing. Now, this story is very much giving justice. Number one, I'm so glad that something has happened as far as like, let me just say this. In my intuition, I am picking up that justice has prevailed in the spiritual realm for her. That there has been a lot of advantages for her in the spiritual realm, and not on her, but I feel that on the behalf of the energy that is there, that is present, that there has been justice. I don't know, I'm just feeling this justice energy, this justice like energy. So the first thing is that Miya was a college student at the University of UCF. And when she went to UCF, she really liked the school. However, I think she ended up transferring her sophomore year, kind of backed out and was like, you know what, I'm going to transfer to a school that's a little bit closer to my area or somewhere I feel more comfortable. And she ended up transferring to another school, a local college. Now, like we all know, if you know, like, college sometimes can make, like, literally the first 2 years or first 2 to 3 years when you join college, it's like either you figure out this is the place for you or this is not really the place for you, or you just might need to kind of like tone it down a notch. Not saying this is her situation or this is her case, because it seems to be known that she was doing very well in school. She just decided to be a little bit closer to home, and like sometimes it gets very overwhelming being in college and literally like being away from family, friends, loved ones, all those that have been there from the original time. So yeah, sometimes college can get very overwhelming, and when you start, you just want to be like connected and close to like your family and your friends. Well, her father ended up moving her, Miya, to an apartment complex that was closer to the school, the university, and at the apartment complex, her father's intuition had guided him to basically just be a father. So like he decided to put like protective measures up against the window and make sure she had like the proper locks on the doors and just prepare her space, because what he noticed, and I don't think he even really was paying attention, but it was just something about it that he knew. He had put these locks on the doors, but he noticed that it was a maintenance guy that was kind of like just riding back and forth that seemed a little suspect, and he was just like, wait a minute, this is not normal. So he just wanted to make sure that his baby girl was safe. So he put all of the protective measures and gave her all of the protective measures that she needed. And also, it was said that she carried pepper spray. Guys, I bought this cool little thing for my makeup. Okay, sorry. It just works. So it was said that her father just basically prepared her for the world. So, you know, a lot of the times as parents, mothers, fathers, we know instinctively when something just doesn't seem right. And I believe that her father kind of knew, like, yo, something is not right, because he felt it. Like, not the fact that it was his natural instinct to be a father and like do the things that he needed to do, but it was the fact that he was paying attention when he moved her in. Well, she moved in and she was actually scheduled to fly out to go meet her parents. I think a couple of days before she went missing. So September the 24th, 2021, she went missing. So it was because she did not catch her flight. Her mom was like, let me tell you something. This family don't play. Her family are some goons. They are some ride or die, because they was on it. The moment she did not get on that flight, they were like, wait a minute, something is not right. So the mother immediately called for a wellness check, like something is not right. Here's her address. Go pull up on her. Okay, so they do a wellness check, and when they arrived, they saw that it was something butted up against the door, which I might have like a picture of it right here. But it was something butted up against the door, like someone was like she was trying to prevent someone from coming in. And then it was just stuff everywhere, like her bed was messed up, just certain things that they noticed. And so, okay, right then and there, boom, stop. That should have been a red flag for the sheriff department to literally immediately open an investigation to talk about what actually, like, open up an investigation. Where's this girl? Because they knew that something wasn't right. She's a young girl. She's only 19 years old. She's gorgeous. And she's missing because she did not catch her flight. So we all know that it doesn't make sense if here she is not catching the flight, and this is something that she will never miss. Who's going to miss their flight? So immediately, red flags go off. Immediately, red flags go off. So the parents was like, oh no, we got to get down there. We got to get down there. So when the police pull the video footage, they see Miya going out her door in like some jeans, like a couple of days before the situation, before she went missing. They see her going out her door with like jeans and her keys, like she was going to class. So they noticed that while they were looking at that video, they noticed that she seemed to be in like a rush, like a hurry. Like if something was preventing her from leaving, you know how when you try to get out the door, but your boo thing just try to hurt, like prevent you from leaving at the time when you are ready to go? Well, it seemed to be like she was in a rush to get where she was trying to go. Like, so they looked at the video and they seen her like leaving, but they did not get to see like what car she was leaving in. Now I want to mind you, this was before she went missing. So they had just, this is them looking at the video footage, like they want to know what's going on. So of course, as great investigators, they want to follow up until that point to see what actually took place. The days or weeks leading up to it. So they noticed that, like, no, wait a minute, something is not right because our baby is not even answering the phone. Like, she didn't catch the flight. Well, 3 days after she went missing, the mother and the father was like, wait a minute, something is definitely not right. So they went through and got some of the phone records. Like, you know how people don't be understanding, like, okay, we have towers, we have these things that are going to let us know what's going on. So they went through her phone records and noticed that the guy that was supposed to be like the maintenance man was texting her talking about he loved her and he couldn't live without her. And apparently she did not want to have any sort of relationship with this guy. So I'm assuming that he tried to make like impressions on her immediately when he found out, oh, it's a young pretty girl moving in, and this is probably something very common. So according to the reports, his name is Cabarello. So according to the reports, he had already had a situation with another lady that was a college student before that had reported that he tried to make advances towards her before, and she was not feeling him like that. So, okay, listen, y'all, the text messages he sent to Miya, listen, these text messages were like, oh, I love you so much, basically, and in all of other words, I can't live without you. And she was just not feeling him like that. So that is already a red flag. So the police began to question him. They question him and say, well, where were you on this night and stuff like that? And you could see him in the video kind of looking a little bit shaky, kind of looking a little bit scary, like, maybe she's just not answering her phone, or maybe she doesn't want to be bothered, or just whatever the case may be. And the police questioning him because the mother brought it up, was like, hey, he got some text messages in my daughter's phone, and he up here talking about how much he loved her and how much he's basically obsessed with her. So why is he not your prime number one suspect? So at this time, the Orange County Police Department decides not to investigate him and release him and let him go. They let him go. They let him go. Because they say you cannot investigate or arrest someone off of hearsay, off of a hunch, off of a feeling. Listen, it is 2024. If people don't understand that things are spiritual and they're trying to run their life based off of how things were used to being done, you totally can feel when something is off. You totally can feel when something is not right. And you totally know, especially as a mother, when things are not aligned. You know this. You know without a doubt that something is not right. So the fact that the mother was like, hey, I'm leading you to the water, but I can't make you drink it. The police was like, we don't care if you're leading us to the water, we're not drinking it. And so they let him go. Well, 3 days. And can we say 3 days? 3 days after. I would love to do some contouring, but we're kind of in a bit of a pickle here because I have to find some more cute makeup. So 3 days after she went missing, they end up getting a report, getting a phone call. And you want to know what the phone call says, y'all? The phone call was a suicide call. It was a suicide call. So they knew something wasn't right because the phone call was a suicide call. And it was Cabarello. Cabarello had committed suicide. Now, there was no notes as to why he committed suicide or what actually took place and what actually happened. It just happened. So they got the call, they received it. So they started saying, okay, well, now we can make headway because something is not right. If he commits suicide, it's something deeper to the story, right? Well, apparently, they noticed on September 28th, they noticed that there was a check-in from Miya Marcano's Facebook. Hold on, let's take this down. They noticed that it was a check-in from Miya Marcano's Facebook account that she checked in on Facebook on September 28th. And this is 3 days after she was missing. 3 days, right? Just 3 days. So, mind you, listen, if it wasn't for the news reporter that was covering this, which is a beautiful brown-skinned girl, I don't think that the police would have done nearly half of what they were supposed to do because she was the one that noticed that Miya checked in on Facebook 3 days after she was missing. 3 days after this had been all over the news. 3 days after the whole entire part or state of Florida knew anything and everything about Miya Marcano's story. She called the police department and was like, hey, boo-boo, are y'all up on this? Like, it's something that y'all need to be given, and y'all need to be given check-in and checkups. So they investigated and decided that it was not a true lead. They decided it was not a true lead. What? They said it was not a strong enough lead. So then people just start getting fed up. And let me tell you, Miya Marcano's mothers, fathers, sisters, aunties, cousins, and all the above, everyone, and look, I say fathers because she's clearly protected in the spiritual realm. Clearly. Because you see how fast people activated, like, hold up, something is not right. So anyways, so they opened up the investigation, searched for the Facebook opening or Facebook check-in to see where the phone was located, and they find that it was located at another apartment complex that was really close to where her apartment complex was, like another apartment complex. So they find the location of her phone. And they know, well, if they can track the location of the phone, they probably can track her because it says that she checked in 3 days after. So could it be that she had been there being held against her will all that time at another apartment complex? They don't know. They wouldn't have the answers because Mr. Cabarello offed himself, okay? So they didn't have the answers. Now they want to come looking for him, but he's gone and no one knows where she's at. So they have to trace the actual phone. They end up tracing it and they go near the apartment complex and just Before they can find her, October the 1st, they did a vigil outside of her apartment complex, lighting candles, saying prayers, and singing beautiful songs to this beautiful 19-year-old for her to return home. And once they locate the phone and locate where she checked in from, they found the address of the apartment and find her in a wooded area, cold and lifeless. Cold and lifeless. Just take a moment of silence for her. We're just gonna take a moment of silence. This is 8 days after the report. 8 days after. Such a beautiful spirit, such a beautiful soul. Do we feel like, or should we say, we kind of feel like such and such dropped the ball? Because maybe, just maybe, if they would have held the young man maybe 3 days, maybe she could have still been alive in that other area and they could have tracked it. Maybe. We don't know. We don't know. All we know is that at 5 p.m. on September 24th, she got off of work, and what reports say is that when she walked into her home, there was a man standing there. Someone that had access into her primary residence. Someone who had access to her primary residence. Someone who had been watching her every move. Watching and staking her out. This is serious, y'all. This is serious. So this is not all. Let me go get a brush and we're going to brush this thing out. And yeah, we're going to get more into this a little bit deeper. Okay. Okay, wait a minute. She's giving Farrah Fawcett right now. Okay, I like it. I like it. Giving Farrah Fawcett. Okay, so back to this story. So I'm so glad that the story ended the way it did as far as this final part. Not meaning her death, no. I'm not talking about her passing. I'm talking about what happened after. First off, her parents, her family, her friends, the community, I loved how they joined together to speak up for her name, to actually bring forth great communication, bring forth awareness to her situation, to what is actually taking place. And another thing here, June the 27th, like a year later, her mother and her father gets a bill passed called Miya's Law. And this law prevents people from being connected to people in apartment complexes, such as maintenance people, to have immediate access to enter into someone's home without thorough background, without thorough reasoning, without a thorough process. You can't just go into somebody's home. Who is that? Hello? Come here. Hello? Hello? Listen, you guys, I think I'm filming before I get ready to go, and here in walks my beautiful husband. Hi, husband. What's up? What are you doing? Working. I am too. You want to work? Say hi. Hello. Okay, so today we're going to be using or spraying Burberry Goddess. This is not sponsored. We talked about this before. So Burberry Goddess, if you would like to sponsor this video or any other videos, come and, you know, reach my contact down below. But Burberry Goddess is so inspiring. This gives me very much, I have arrived. It's giving me stand up for your rights. It's giving me let's pop out and start a legislation, like a new law, a new passing. So this is dedicated to you for all of this. Miya, this is dedicated to Miya, okay? So because they created a law June 27th for her passing and decided to basically put the proper steps for people, especially maintenance men, to enter into maintenance men, and it's not just men, it could be women, but to enter into the process, like enter into the home or the apartment complex. And I think this is very wise, very smart, as no one should just have immediate access to your home in any type of way. You know what I'm saying? She was young, like she was only 19 years old. 19 years old. And yes, her father did follow the proper steps, the proper protocol. But what is so sad is that she had a very promising future. She had so much to live for. And she was gorgeous. Gorgeous. So, you know, in this Tell My Story edition, I want to send out my deepest condolences to the family, to the community, to those that loved her. Also, with the investigation of this story, the story led to 2 of the sheriff department officers being released and removed from their job because they felt like, the family felt like, the community felt like the ball was dropped, because a lot of the things that were in the house, that was like a box cutter and certain things like that, were not recorded. Allegedly, it was Cabarello that was in the apartment, and instead of taking her out the front door where everyone would notice in this busy apartment, he went out the window. And that's probably where you see why the box cutter was there, to cut out in the window. However, it did lead to 2 officers being released from their job because they felt like that a lot of the things that should have been reported should have been done. It should have been an immediate Amber Alert and things like that. It was not issued. It was just like a drop of the justice system. A drop. A fumble. A fumble. And I want to say, you guys, that number one, remember, we're all here, we're all connected. We're here to spread love, kindness, peace, joy, and be kind to one another. And the reason why I do these Tell My Stories is so that I can bring awareness to the stories that go unnoticed or not talked about, that kind of just go missing. This is in the database and the archive forever. So I want to thank you guys for watching Align with Ariana. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Also, if you're looking to get more knowledge and increase your knowledge and your whereabouts on how to start your YouTube page, you can click the link below to join the masterclass all about social media and how to grow your channel. So I want to thank you guys for aligning with Ariana. I'll see you soon. Let me know if you have any questions, comments, or concerns down below. Any story you want me to do, pick up on. I love you guys. Bye.